September. Reggie Squirrel. Autumn had arrived, and it was Reggie Squirrel's 7th birthday. Reggie woke up early and set off excitedly to visit the stag beetle. He knocked loudly on Stanley's door, but no one answered. Berry and Balthazar's houses were empty too.
No one's at home. Who can I celebrate my birthday with?
He sobbed to himself.
Hi there, happy birthday,
shouted Harry Hedgehog. Your friends told me to take you for a ride while they prepare your present.
So that's why no one's at home,
Reggie said, smiling again. He sat in the hedgehog cart and they set off. In the meantime, the centipede busily raked the leaves up and the woodworms wriggled about in them.
That's enough of that. I need to clear the leaves from the path,
the centipede said.
You could pick the litter up because we should look after nature. Okay, we'll help,
the woodworms whistled. Then they saw Harry Hedgehog and Reggie Squirrel, and they waved at the birthday boy when the hedgehog cart passed them. It was the afternoon by the time they got back to Reggie Squirrel's home.
Happy birthday!
All the forest friends shouted with glee. Reggie Squirrel saw that the pals had bandaged the oak tree.
You've made my tree better,
Reggie said with a tear in his eye.
Hooray for Reggie Squirrel!
Shouted a band of squeaky little voices, and the fireflies appeared high up above.
We've made you 7 lanterns for your 7th birthday. They're beautiful,
said Reggie, clapping his paws together. At that point, Berry and Dolly handed the hazelnut cake they had made to Reggie. And while they were eating, Zephyr made an announcement.
A 7th birthday is an important thing because 7 is a special number. There are 7 colours in the rainbow. A dragon has 7 heads. And there are 7 days in a week. There are 7 dwarfs in the story about Snow White. And there are 7 notes on a musical scale. You still haven't seen your main present, said the little flower beetle as he hopped around. Have you found the hot air balloon? Reggie asked with a surprised smile. We found it and fixed it, said a proud Berry. Come on, we'll take you for a flight. Hooray! Reggie Squirrel cried, and he hopped happily into the balloon's basket. They flew high above the tiny houses and had a super view of the forest from the sky. Then the stars appeared, and Reggie stared in delight at the twinkling night sky. It's been a busy day, hasn't it? Asked Dolly. Yes, it's been a busy and brilliant birthday, Reggie Squirrel agreed with a grin. Good night, the little friends shouted, and the squirrel climbed sleepily back into his house, cuddled up in his little bed, and soon fell fast asleep.
Butterfly Girls. One spring day, Flutter the butterfly girl was picking wild flowers in the meadow. She plaited them into a crown and placed it on her head. Then, from nowhere, she heard an unfamiliar tinkling laughter. She looked right and she looked left, but she could not see anyone. Suddenly, 7 butterfly girls flew out from behind a tree. "Come with us," they giggled. "Okay," Flutter said and flew to join them. The butterfly girls were all pretty but very naughty. They loved to play tricks on people they met. The first was Alfonso. "Give me back my violin!" the cricket shouted, because one of the flying butterfly girls had snatched it out of his hands and flown off with it. She played music on it surprisingly well. "Give it back!" Alfonso complained. The butterfly girl handed the violin to another butterfly girl, who handed it to another, and they all made fun of the poor cricket. Flutter didn't like this teasing. In the end, the butterfly girls gave him back his violin and flew on. They rested on a blossoming tree and stuffed their pockets with sweetly scented and brightly coloured pollen. Then they flew over the boys playing a game of badminton. "Look, Stanley," said Eddie. "They're so pretty." Balthazar, Bubble, Eddie and Stanley stood staring up at the heavenly creatures with their mouths wide open. But they were not happy for very long. The butterfly girls turned their pockets out and covered the boys in pollen. It made all the beetle boys sneeze terribly. The butterfly girls chuckled and their laughter tinkled in the gentle breeze. They flew on so quickly that Flutter could hardly keep up. "Wait!" Flutter panted and rested on the top of a lilac bush. "Come with us. We're going to fly over to the other side of the hill, all the way to the waterfall. It's so beautiful. You'll see," one of them chimed. "No, I shan't go with you," Flutter said firmly. "I live here. I like my friends, and I don't like playing naughty tricks on them. You go, but I'm staying here where I belong." "Okay, well, all the best," they called back and flew away. They flew on to new places, where they stunned those that they met with their dazzling beauty, and then played naughty tricks on them. Flutter watched them go for a while and then smiled as she turned and headed back home. But before she got home, she paid a visit to the cricket. She was happy to see that Alfonso was merrily playing his violin again. Stanley, Balthazar, Eddie, Bubble and Berry were playing hopscotch, and they shouted to Flutter to come and join them. The butterfly girl was happy to see that they had all managed to wash off that sticky pollen. The board game. It was a lovely spring day and Berry was playing a board game with Flutter. They had to follow a long trail from a mouse to a piece of cheese. "The winner is the first one to reach the cheese," the little butterfly girl explained. Berry started the game. He threw the dice and moved his counter. Then it was Flutter's turn. She threw the dice and moved. I won! The little snail boy shouted when his counter reached the piece of cheese.
OK, you won. Let's play it again.
Berry won the second game too. I won! I'm the winner again! The little snail boy shouted with pride. Let's play another game. They started to play the game again. This time, Flutter was the first to reach the piece of cheese.
I won, Berry. Now I'm the winner,
the little butterfly girl announced with a grin. Berry was so upset that he hid under the pine tree, where he threw the dice so that Flutter couldn't see. I threw a 6, but Flutter told him off.
That's not fair, Berry. You need to throw the dice where I can see it.
No.
Throw the dice again, Berry.
This time he threw a 2. He got left behind and Flutter won that game. That's not fair. I want to win. That's cheating.
But Berry, that's the point of a board game. One player wins and then the other wins. You can't win every time.
But I can. I want to win every game, Berry whined, and he was so cross that he threw the board game down on the ground.
OK, if that's how you want it, you can play on your own.
And she flew away. It'll be better on my own, Berry grumbled. He threw the dice and moved his counter. He threw again and moved his counter. And he won one game after another. But he soon got bored of the game. He tried playing the game with his teddy. But his teddy wasn't a very exciting opponent. Berry eventually set off to look for Flutter again. It was no good on my own, he thought sadly to himself. He found Flutter playing cards with Dolly, Bubble and Balthazar in the meadow. Can I play too? Berry asked shyly.
Well, Berry, you can play, but you're not guaranteed to win. And I wouldn't like you to throw the cards down as well.
Flutter eventually shouted after Berry.
Berry, you can come and play, but only if you promise not to get cross if you don't win.
I promise, Berry agreed and ran to join his pals. They sat playing cards until it got dark. Berry won one game, Flutter won another, and Bubble, Balthazar and Dolly all won one too. Berry was so happy to be playing with his friends that he forgot to get angry when he didn't win. Stanley the stag beetle flew by and shouted down to them. Look, I've carved a roasting stick. Come on, let's make a fire and roast apples. They all seemed to like the idea. Eddie the potato beetle joined them. They all helped to build a fire, sliced apples up and put them on sticks and roasted them over the glowing embers. The little gang of friends ate up all the apples they cooked. Berry gave his last piece of apple to Flutter. He really wanted to say something nice to the little butterfly girl, but all he eventually said was, "Here, this is for you." When all the apples had gone, the friends pushed their sticks into the fire and drew pictures with them in the dark night sky. Blueberries. One sunny autumn day, Berry and Dolly went into the forest to pick blueberries. Their friends Flutter the butterfly and Eddie the potato beetle went with them. "I'm going to pick the most blueberries," Eddie announced. "Look, this bush is full of ripe blueberries," the little snail said. "I'm going to pick them all." But Eddie jumped in front of Berry and quickly picked the biggest berries. "This bush is full of berries too," Dolly told the others. But the little potato beetle was faster again. By the time Dolly got to the bush, he'd already picked the best of the berries.
"Eddie, that's not fair. Don't pick all the berries," the little ladybird complained.
Then the friends came to a stream.
Let's build a bridge over the stream,
Flutter suggested.
and I know exactly how. Let's all go and bring that big log here.
They had to work hard to pull the heavy log over the stream. The little friends made a super bridge together.
It's done.
Flutter sighed.
Look, there's another blueberry bush with lots of berries on it.
That was Eddie's cue. I'm going to get there first. Those blueberries are all mine, he shouted triumphantly. But he pushed past Flutter so hard that she slipped and fell into the stream.
Help!
Don't worry, Flutter. Hold on to me, Dolly shouted and stretched her hand out to the floundering butterfly. But the water flowed too fast and Flutter couldn't reach Dolly. Berry picked up a long stick. Grab the stick, Flutter, he shouted. But this didn't work either because the river started to carry the little butterfly away.
Eddie, help! We've got to pull poor Flutter out of the water,
Dolly yelled, and they pulled the soggy butterfly out of the stream.
Oh my, I'm so cold. I'm very, very cold. And my little wings are soaked through.
Here, take my jumper. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry, Flutter, Eddie said.
That's very nice of you, Dolly said. But you'll catch a cold too without your jumper. We should collect a large pile of leaves and wrap Flutter up in them.
Berry, Dolly and Eddie gathered a big bunch of burdock leaves and covered the shivering butterfly with them.
I'm still very cold and my wings don't work. Look, they're all wet and ruined.
Flutter started to sob. The sun took pity on the weeping butterfly and came down close to warm her wings. Flutter's wings were soon beautifully dry and as good as new.
Hooray! I'm all dry and warm at last. Thank you, sun,
Flutter said with a smile. I'm so sorry, Flutter, Eddie said. I promise I won't pick all the blueberries next time. I want you to have all the ones that I've picked.
Thank you, Eddie. Why don't we share them instead? Let's hurry home and bake a blueberry pie.
The friends all walked back to Flutter's house and got to work straight away. They picked all the leaves off and gave the blueberries a good wash. Spoons stirred and pans clattered until the kitchen was filled with the sweet smell of delicious blueberry pie. The yummy dessert was soon ready. Stanley the stag beetle, Balthazar the bee and Bubble the baby beetle came along to join the feast. The forest friends all sat around the table and chatted late into the night. Kindergarten. One autumn morning, Dolly knocked excitedly on Berry's door.
Come quickly, Berry, or we'll be late.
Berry got ready and the two friends held hands and walked to the nursery together. Lots of little children were gathered in the playground. They were all so happy to see each other. There was Balthazar the bee, Flutter the butterfly, Stanley the stag beetle, Eddie the potato beetle, Zephyr the dragonfly, Alfonso the cricket, Leapy the grasshopper and Bubble the baby beetle. Mrs. Bumblebee patiently guided everybody into their classrooms. The little, middle and top children went into different rooms. Bubble was in the little group. He waved to Berry and Dolly from the doorway. The day started with exercises. After breakfast, the children made beautiful pictures using the leaves they collected in the woods. When everybody had finished, Mrs. Bumblebee gathered the children in a circle. She taught them lots of songs and games. The children all danced around. Then, It was playtime. Mrs. Bumblebee sat in a rocking chair and watched the children. Berry and the boys ran straight over to the car box and started playing cars. They built ramps and tunnels.
Can I join in, boys?
Dolly asked. She was holding a broken red car.
Oh no, Dolly, you can't play cars with that old thing,
Berry told her.
And anyway, cars are for boys, not girls.
That made Dolly cry.
The boys don't want to play with me,
she told Flutter. Flutter, Leapy and Zephyr quickly cheered her up.
Come and play with us. We're playing with dolls.
The girls dressed their dolls in pretty dresses, fed them and rocked them to sleep. Dolly liked this game a lot. Then Berry got into an argument with Morris the Maybug.
You keep knocking my car over. It's not fair. You're a cheat, Berry shouted. That's not true. You're a cheat, replied Morris. That's it. I'm not playing with you anymore, Berry said sulkily and left the boys. Can I join in your game? Berry asked his friend Dolly.
You can't play with us. It's a girls' game,
Dolly sulked. But I brought this doll with me. It's got curly hair. I want to play with you.
All right, come and play with us. But now you have to let me play cars with you.
Children, time to wash your hands, Mrs. Bumblebee shouted. Then go and sit down at the tables. Mrs. Earwig, the dinner lady, dished up their dinner. When everybody had finished eating, Berry and Dolly collected up all the plates and glasses. Then the children had a little lie down while Mrs. Bumblebee read them a story. They all listened in silence, and a few of them fell fast asleep. When they got up, they all had a snack and went out into the playground. It was enormous and filled with all kinds of slides, climbing frames and swings, with a big wooden train in the middle. Berry and Morris quickly made friends again and played on the swings together. Dolly helped Bubble up the slide and caught him at the bottom. Bubble liked that a lot. The rest of the day flew by, and soon the children were waving goodbye to each other. They couldn't wait for tomorrow to come.